Hi, I'm Melinda Van Fleet, and welcome to the Confident Conversations podcast. I'm a confidence and peak performance coach, best-selling author, and speaker who helps businesswomen believe in themselves, build confidence, and take action. This podcast shares authentic and transparent, thought-provoking stories, tips, and tools from my experiences, as well as incredible guests, so you can continue to build your confidence and live your best life. Thank you for joining me. Let's get started on this confidence journey. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this week on the Confident Conversations podcast. I always appreciate that you take the time to tune in, as I know there's a lot of choices. And as always, I love hearing from you. So thank you very much. This week, I wanted to share a story that happened to me a couple mornings ago when I was at our local Circle K. If you don't know what a Circle K is, it's like a 7-Eleven, and I think probably most people know what a 7-Eleven is. It's just our little local gas station, and they have fountain Diet Coke. And yes, I drink Diet Coke. I've given it up a couple times in the past. It has never changed anything about my health, my eating, anything. It doesn't cure sugar addictions, nothing like that. It didn't help me lose weight either. So I do drink Diet Coke, and I'm good with that. So I went to get our Diet Cokes, my husband and I, and it was early. It was about 6 a.m. And I went up to the fountain, and if you drink fountain soda, you know that sometimes the fountain runs white, clear. So obviously they were out of the soda. So I said to the girl behind the counter, she's been there before, I've seen her before. She tends to work the night shift. I told her it was out, and I asked her if she could change it. And so she just looked at me and nodded and went in the back room. Meanwhile, I'm standing out front by the soda machine, just patiently waiting for her. I'm, not in some huge rush, and I know it takes a few minutes. So I'm waiting, and then all of a sudden I see her helping someone at the cash register. So I'm like, oh, maybe she's done. So I go to run the soda, and it's still running clear. So I move over to where I can see her, and she's playing on her phone. So I asked, I'm like, hey, is the fountain, is it fixed? The Diet Coke, it's still running clear. Because I'm like, well, maybe she doesn't know. And she goes, oh, no, I don't know how to change it. And I'm like, oh. Okay. I said, well, yeah, I've been standing here waiting. And she's like, oh. She goes, well, I don't know how to change it. And I said, well, normally you guys, do know how to change it. And she goes, well, the next shift is going to be coming in any second. So I'm like, okay. And I'm like, do I wait? Do I not wait? So I made a decision to not wait. But as I was leaving the Circle K and opened the door, the next shift walked in. And it's a girl that I've known for years and years and years. She's worked at the Circle K. So I said hello to her, and I opened the door for her, and I said, oh, hey, when you get settled, you're out of Diet Coke. If you don't mind changing it for me, that would be great. She's like, yeah, no problem. So I go back to the machine, and I sit there and I wait, and I'm like, no big deal. So I'm waiting. And what I ended up noticing was that the first girl just continued to play on her phone. And she never once went to the second shift and said, hey, can you teach me how to do this? She just kept playing on her phone. Now, mind you, when I think back, and I did think back, there has been 4 jobs in my past where I've had to change soda. I had to change soda when I worked at the ball fields in a concession stand when I was in my teens. Then I had to change the soda when I worked at the Union Sweet Shop when I went to Purdue. And I worked there for, 3 years. So I had to change the soda there. Then I had to change the soda when I worked at the Village Pantry in Ohio. I believe that's what their little convenience stores are called. And I worked there for 1 summer in between my freshman year and my sophomore year of college. And then I had to change soda when I was a cocktail waitress at Zanies, which is a comedy club downtown Chicago. And I worked at night after my corporate day job at Spiegel. I didn't make a lot of money, so I had to work a second job, and I worked as a cocktail waitress. So I had changed soda there. Okay. So I have had to change soda 4 different jobs in my life. So I actually probably could have gone back and figured it out and changed the soda myself. But that's not my role to do that, and probably legally not a good thing to be going in their back room. So my thought process comes from a place of I actually have changed soda before, and it's not something that's beneath anyone, and it's really not even something that's difficult. So the girl continued to play on her phone. The second girl changed the soda. That was great. I went to pay. And then what was fascinating was the first girl started kind of like dancing around the subject that she didn't come back to help or to learn. I didn't say anything. Not my place to say anything. And I paid for my soda and I left. But it really stuck with me because here's the gig. Yes, she's probably not in love with her job at the Circle K. She probably has no desire to make it a lifelong career to work at the Circle K. And she probably doesn't care about the blonde girl that was standing in front of her asking for the soda be changed that had toothpaste all over her t-shirt. That was me. So she, in other words, doesn't give a rat's ass. However, your willingness to learn something in this life is what sets you apart from other people and what helps you move forward. So even though the task was something that she wasn't interested in, nor the company, nor helping me, any which way you dice it, right? She didn't have any desire to learn it. And she's been there a while. I've seen her before. It's not like she just started. She's been there a while. And who knows if she's quitting tomorrow? You know, if she's quitting yesterday, then maybe she's like, oh, forget this. I'll continue to play on my phone. But let's bet to say she wasn't planning to quit today or tomorrow. She had no willingness or desire to learn something really simple, like changing out the soda. So I challenge you as you go through your day, and yes, there's lots of things that we all have to learn. Oh my gosh, my list of tech things is huge. I still haven't figured out how to get StreamYard on YouTube, so that's on my list. So I have this list of like all these little techie things that I just keep putting off. But I still have a willingness to learn. So I've put it off, it's just because of time and priorities, but I still have a willingness to learn. And over the years, my willingness to learn is what has set me apart. And same with my husband. People are amazed at what my husband has done because he has a willingness to learn. He's a desire to learn, and that sets him apart. So I'm just going to leave this short and sweet at that thought this week on this podcast. Your willingness to learn is what sets you apart. So again, as you go through your day, even if something's annoying, are you still willing to try to learn it or figure it out or learn how to delegate it? That counts too. Because that is what will set you apart as you continue on your journey. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a beautiful week. Feel free to connect with me on the socials.